Hey YouTube! So today I'm going to teach you a very simple trick on how to make the smoothest cup of coffee that you can make right in your own home. It's pretty good. The main thing that can make coffee pretty much unbearable for a lot of people is the simple fact that coffee is very acidic, bitter, and especially if you're like me and you suffer from GERD or have, some form of like chronic acid reflux, then coffee is pretty much a no-no in scenarios like that. But let's say that you do suffer from acid reflux, and let's say that you just cannot say no to coffee. What I'm going to show you today is adding basically just one simple ingredient that you should have in your house that will reduce the acidity in your coffee and make it much more bearable. And that one simple ingredient is table salt. I'm sure you've read a lot about that, but when do you add it? And how much do you add for how much you're making? If you put too much salt in your coffee, then you're gonna have a really disgusting cup of coffee. And if you don't put enough in there, what was the point in even trying it if you haven't done anything to reduce the acidity in your coffee? And for the record, I do know that there's low acid coffees out there. I personally, and I'm sure quite a few of you as well, do not feel like paying twice the price for low acid coffee. Furthermore, it's even tougher to find a low acid decaf coffee. And since I have anxiety and I need to stick with decaf coffee, I needed to find an alternative that made things a little easier so I could just go to the store, buy some decaf coffee, bring it home, and make it low acidic on my own. Low acidic, I'm not even sure if that's grammar, whatever. All right, I'm gonna bring you over to the desk here. I'm gonna take my ugly face off camera, and I'm gonna show you pretty simply how to do this. You know what? This cone filter kind of looks like some of these face masks that people are wearing now. All right, so basically what I'm gonna give you here is a basic how much for how much, and you're gonna have to adjust based on your own tastes. All right, so here's my coffee, and that's 1 tablespoon. That is 2 tablespoons. And what I want you to do is just kind of pretend that what I've done here is put 6 tablespoons in here. I'm gonna stop at 3 because I don't feel like wasting coffee, even though that coffee sucks, in my opinion. All right, so if this is 6 tablespoons of coffee, then this right here is a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And if you notice when I'm putting it in, I'm putting it in for the brewing process. I'm not putting it directly into a cup of coffee, but what I'm going to do is actually brew this whole pot with the salt already added to the coffee in the filter. So you take this, you stick it in your coffee pot, and you'll brew. We all should have learned in school that salt is a base that is going to neutralize acid, and that's basically all we have done for this cup of coffee. So what I showed you is basically a guideline, 6 tablespoons for a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. It is going to vary how much coffee you put in your pot. For example, I use a little 5-cup carafe, so I adjust my salt down. But bottom line, since this is just something you're going to be kind of testing out over time, you already know that your coffee is pretty acidic as it is, so just add a pinch of salt next time that you brew a pot. If you notice that it's still too acidic, put a little more salt in there and just adjust as time goes on until you find the right amount for you. I have definitely made a pot before with too much salt in it, and that's just disgusting. So yeah, you don't want to put too much salt in there, but it is going to be trial and error. And if you are starting fresh, as I said, and you've never done this before, just add a pinch. And if that's not enough for you, add another pinch, and just keep adding until you find exactly what you're looking for. All right, go make a pot of coffee, and I'm gonna sit here and enjoy mine while I edit this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.